Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Sparkman Homestead. My name is Krista. It is first thing in the morning. I just got in from doing my animal chores, so I am gonna get some breakfast made, and I thought I would turn the camera on and have you guys with me while I make breakfast. We are just gonna make an old-fashioned sausage and gravy breakfast today. I have a lot of computer work to do. I have an online business, so it demands quite a bit of my time. So today is going to be a devoted getting that done day. We did some canning together yesterday, so we have our raspberry strawberry jam, and it turned out beautifully, and our blackberry jam. And then after I turned the camera off, I realized I had some banana peppers, so I just pickled them up. One thing that I mentioned during my pantry tour is that I like to keep brine in the fridge, and then when I go outside and pick a load of banana peppers, I like to have that brine available so that I can do a really quick batch of pickled banana peppers. I think I only have 3 more pints that I want to put on the shelf this year. Yeah, got that done. That strawberry raspberry jam is delicious. I actually had one jar that didn't end up sealing right, but I have no problem with that because it tastes so good. Stephen is out cleaning the trailer this morning because we have it going for a rental. So he's just kind of trying to get some of the fading off the front end of it. I want to show you guys our willow trees. Look at how good they're doing. I gotta empty this tray out. We've had so much rain lately that it's getting full. But these are all the willow trees that I took off of our willow tree when it fell. And then this is a bay leaf tree that I actually purchased on Etsy. So I'm gonna try to get that to grow really good. And then we have a olive tree. Trying to get this guy to start. I got this one from Stock Brothers. And so I'm gonna kind of baby it for a while. The bay tree and actually it's called the bay laurel tree, and the olive tree, they are actually hardy in my zone. I am in zone 7. 7B, I think is what I am. I was 7A, but then I think they changed it to 7B. Anyways, they're hardy in my zone, but they are really little plants, so I need to kind of baby them for the first couple years. I have them in really small pots, and what I'm gonna do is just bring them in the winter, let them hang out in the house this winter, probably next winter also. Next year I'll pot them into a bigger pot. I'll just keep doing that, and then probably by the 3rd year, maybe the 4th year, I'll be able to plant them outside. So I have my cookbook here. This is just my own cookbook. It's just one that I keep all my printed off recipes in, just my favorite recipes. So I am looking for my breakfast section. Okay, we need buttermilk biscuits, sausage gravy, there we go. I have recipes from when my daughter was little, so 20 plus years ago, and she made little notes on them. She got this in class. They had to make cinnamon toast one time in class, and so this is her personal recipe. I'm saving it for her. What I really want to do with all of these recipes is my most favorite recipes. I would love to get them put into like a special cookbook for my kids, just so that they have that for their own homes. Again, it's just like recipes that mean something to them, recipes that I made when they were littler. It's a fun thing that I want to do, and that's why I always print out my recipes, is so that there's always a hard copy of them. Okay, so we are gonna get started on the biscuits first. I have been making these biscuits for a really long time, and they are so easy to make. And the fact that we also have our fresh strawberry raspberry jam is another reason I want to make biscuits this morning. We are making buttermilk biscuits. I don't have buttermilk, so I'm going to make my own little version of buttermilk. So this recipe calls for 3/4 cup. So we'll put 3/4 cup of milk in here. I'm just using a whole milk from my local dairy. And then in order to make buttermilk, you just take 1 teaspoon of vinegar, add to that and let it sit for a minute, and it will curdle up, and then you have buttermilk. You can also do this with plant-based milk. It works really, really good with almond milk. I don't know if I've done it with soy milk or like any other type, but I know for sure this works really good with almond milk. It's back in the fridge. We'll need the milk out for our sausage gravy in a minute, but it is, honestly, it's hot in here already, so I don't want to leave it out on the counter. Our next step, we need to get our oven preheated to 450 degrees. I'm gonna get a lined baking sheet. Get that out already. The other thing I want to get out is the biscuit cutter. I have a collection of biscuit cutters. I have these really cute square ones. I got these, I think, at an estate sale or a garage sale, but these are kind of my go-to ones that I use. If you don't have a biscuit cutter, you can use a glass, like the rim of the glass. I've seen people even use like canning lids. Anything works. You just want a round shape. Forgot we need to give this a stir. Just want to get that vinegar all mixed in there. I'm just using this because some of my stuff is clumpy. It's just like a hand sifter. Right, so we're gonna add 2 cups of flour. I'm just using an all-purpose flour in this. And you'll definitely want to leave the flour out because you need more for later. 1 tablespoon of baking powder. 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. Teaspoon of sweetener. Actually, sorry. 2 teaspoons of a sweetener. I'm just using a organic evaporated cane juice in this. And then 1 teaspoon of salt. And just get it sifted in. See, this is why I sift it, because I get all these clumps. My baking powder, I think. Alrighty, and then we need 6 tablespoons of a cold butter. And you just want to cube the butter up. And you're going to try to keep it as cold as possible because you really want to get those butter chunks in there because it makes for a really flaky biscuit. And I'm just going to cut them into cubes. You want to take a pastry blender, you can use a fork. You can even do this in a food processor if you want. It would probably be really easy in a food processor. I just love this little food blender, or this little hand pastry blender. And what you want to do is you just want to get it so that it is a nice crumbly texture. You want to make sure that the butter is all cut into the flour mixture. Okay, that's pretty good. Nice chunks of butter in there. Okay, and now we're going to take our buttermilk and we're going to stir that in. So what we're going to do is put a little flour on the counter here. My counter is clean, so make sure you have a clean counter. We're going to dump that biscuit mixture out onto the counter. Just kind of fold it in together until a dough forms. Trying to be really quick with this because I don't want to melt the butter with my hands. Okay, pretty good. I'm gonna add a touch bit more flour on here. gonna have a rolling pin. I'm gonna add some flour to that rolling pin also. I'm gonna get it rolled out. I want pretty thick biscuits, so I have this to probably about an inch, maybe an inch and a half thickness. And then we're gonna take our cookie cutter now, or our paste, what is this thing called? It's early in the morning. Our biscuit cutter. I have seen people take the dough and fold it, and because that creates more of a flaky biscuit, but I don't got time for this. I just want to get these in the oven quickly, so I'm not going to worry about being fancy and folding 500 times to make a fluffy biscuit. This will taste fine. So we're going to take our biscuit cutter and we're just going to do this. We are not going to turn the biscuit cutter. We're not going to do anything like that. We're just going to push it down, take it out. And then we're going to put them on our baking sheet. My baking sheet is just a lined baking sheet. I don't have it greased, nothing like that. And then we'll just give this another quick little fold. I think I can get one more out of here. Waiting for the oven to preheat. It's now preheated. I just kind of cleaned up the countertop a little bit. I'm just taking a little bit more milk, like maybe like a tablespoon of milk. And then what we're gonna do is we are gonna brush the top of our biscuits with this milk. Buttermilk is definitely good to have on these, but regular milk works perfectly fine. Get these put in the oven. I think I mentioned this before, but I have my oven preheated to 450 degrees. What are we gonna cook these at? We're gonna cook these for 17 minutes. You can go anywhere from 15 to 17 minutes. I'm just doing 17 because my oven just tends to be a little bit off and it takes forever to cook things. Okay, let's get started on this sausage gravy. Yesterday when I was doing my freezer clean out, I noticed that I had a couple pounds of already cooked sausage, so we're gonna use that in this recipe. Yes, I figured because it was early morning, I didn't need an apron. This is water from washing dishes. I'm gonna get an apron on. Okay, so as I was saying, because it is frozen, I want to get it a little bit thawed out first. So what we're going to do is just put it in the skillet, just heat it up really quickly, and then we'll take it back out of the skillet. If you are using raw meat, what you want to do is just cook your meat first and then take it out of the skillet. This is 2 pounds of cooked sausage. And this is a medium spicy level. These biscuits and gravy might be a little spicy. That's pretty thawed. So we're gonna take this off the heat and just put it in here. It says not to drain it. Okay, we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're gonna get it melted in here. All right, butter is melted. We're gonna take 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour and whisk it in. I just took it off the heat because I don't want it to burn. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of black pepper and then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then 1/4 teaspoon of granulated garlic. Ideally, you want to have some grease in here because it helps absorb this a little bit more. Kind of want a paste. I don't have a paste. That's fine. I have 3 cups of the whole milk here, and I'm just going to slowly whisk it in. We're going to simmer this gravy for about 5 minutes. You just want it to thicken up, and because of the amount of flour that we use, it does thicken up pretty good. So we're just going to kind of watch this. I'm going to keep stirring it every now and then and just helping it to thicken up. Okay, while we're waiting for it to thicken, we're actually going to add this back in. Some of that grease in there. Timer just went off for our biscuits. Let's get them out of the oven. There we go, there's our biscuits. Who needs Pillsbury when biscuits are honestly that easy to make? Love it. That is such a good recipe. This is starting to thicken up really good. I'm gonna give it a quick little taste test and see if I need to add any more salt. Nope, I think that's good. I'm feeling like that sausage was maybe not mild. Might have been a spicy sausage. Nice and thick. Take it off the heat. And I'm gonna get some eggs made. I like to do my eggs, I think it's called hard over easy. So it's not like a soft yolk, it's the yolk is cooked. With my treatments that I was getting, one of the things that was recommended to me was not to eat like processed deli meat, and the other thing was not to eat raw eggs or like yolks. So I have been cooking the yolks lately. Normally I love a runny yolk because I love taking some toast and dipping it in the runny yolk. It's so good. But right now it's been suggested that I not do that, so I have been making all of my eggs hard over easy. So I'm gonna make a really quick batch of that, and then breakfast will be ready. Actually, it's not gonna quite be ready because I need to make my tea first, and then breakfast will be ready. These eggs are actually from, I think they're called bantam chickens. They are very little chickens, they don't get very big, but their eggs are so delicious. They're a very, very rich egg. Love them. The one thing that I've been loving putting in my tea every morning is this stuff. I put 1 scoop of it in, and it kind of gives me a little bit extra protein for the day. So get my tea ready. I got one of my favorite mugs. Steven's off to drop our trailer off. Breakfast is all made. I just said goodbye to Steven. He had to run, so he ate really quickly. I had to wait for my tea, so I just kind of sat with him and talked while my tea was brewing. Also, while I was talking to him, I was getting some turkey legs in a brine mixture, which led me to realize that I need to make some brown sugar. I don't know if you've ever read the book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. That is usually how my days work. So I'm gonna get some brown sugar made. I also need to make some hamburger buns and some bagels. We're having hamburgers tonight, and I wanna get bagels made because processing the chickens on Saturday, and I love to have bagels just as really quick meal options, just to do sandwiches and stuff. So plus I still need to get my online work done. I'm gonna sit down, have a quick breakfast, do my morning devotional, and then get to work. I'm so happy that I turned the camera on and brought you guys along with me for this really kind of quick morning breakfast. I don't really like to have cereal for breakfast. I like to make sure that I'm eating something hearty in the morning for breakfast because my day is just packed full of stuff usually, and if I have like a quick cereal or granola, I usually burn out by about 10 a.m. So I like to make sure that I'm fueling myself with really hearty, good, healthy breakfast. So I hope you guys enjoyed coming along with me this morning, and I hope you have a great day or night whenever you're watching this, and I will see you on the next video. Bye guys.